This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
So what is it like to work with quantum energy medicine? Wow, Susan Ehrenkiel joining us again. She's going to share that and, of course, all the experiences of her clients as a Reiki master, as a massage therapist. Really, there's so much that she does, and clearly she's so passionate about it. We're going to talk more also about the hypnosis and all the different modalities you do to help people really connect emotionally, spiritually, physically to themselves. How are you today, darling?
Wonderful. How are you? And thank you for having me today.
Well, pleasure to have you here. And for those that may not know, you're hailing from Milwaukee, correct?
Correct.
Beautiful. And tell us a little overview of the type of work that you do with quantum energy. Thank you.
Yes. So I'm a massage therapist by trade. I've been doing that for about 27 years.
Okay.
And throughout the course of my journey, I have explored into many different modalities. I was having clients see colors, images, experiencing physical things throughout their body as I was working on them. So I started exploring it and I found out about past lives and went further into that with my clients. And then it's interesting when people connect emotionally with what's going on within them. Physically, things change. Their pain will start to ease or go away. I tell people when a body part's talking to you, talk back to it.
Yeah,
Ask it, what
I
is
like
it
that.
saying to you?
Hmm.
Listen to it when it talks. It's not your imagination. It's real.
I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much. We're excited you're joining us today, and we're going to dive further into this work, correct?
Yes. So let's go into a typical session. So, first of all, the technique I do massage wise is very different than most. And I tell them right off the bat so their mind can relax. Because a lot of times when you're doing different things, people's minds are like, why is she doing this? Why is this happening? Why am I feeling this when she's over there? So, the first thing I try to do is explain what's going to happen in a session so their mind can totally relax and disconnect because that's where all the magic happens within us and the body shifts. Because the mind always wants control. And the thing is, when we let go and surrender, things happen within our body because it's naturally unwinding or processing. And when we keep on going over in our head, what did I do? Why is this happening? Blah, blah, blah. You're feeding that element energy, and we don't want to feed it that energy. We want to feed it the good energy
Yeah, for sure.
by talking to it and asking, what are you trying to tell me? So when a client comes in and they're open, first of all, they got to be very open. I will not go directly right into this unless I see their energies open and responsive to what I'm saying, because I don't want to scare them during a session. Once again, we got to meet people where they're at. So when a person comes in, I'll say, okay, what's going on in your world? What's happening? And my knee hurts, my hip hurts. And I'm like, okay, so what's happening? I'll say, is there somewhere in your life you're afraid to move forward in? Do you feel stuck? That's usually the knee and leg area. And they're like, yeah. So then I'll go deeper into it. Well, first of all, I'll explain my technique.
Sure.
My technique is very different. It is developed by a British osteopath. His name is Arthur Lincoln Pauls. And he developed this technique back in the 70s. And he was also into martial arts. So he's learned to respect the body when it speaks to us and that we don't force things. We go with the patterns happening that's causing the pain. So we're kind of unwinding them. And as we unwind them, those emotions release a lot of the times. But if their mind is preoccupied, obviously, and distracted, they're going to miss everything.
Wow.
That's why I try to hook open their heart when I work on them, open their mind on their third eye mind, and close their conscious mind down so they can have an experience. I also explain to them they may see colors and images. Um, I used to have a lot of people freak out on me because they were seeing colors and they're like, "What's in your lotion? What are you doing
Yeah.
today?" So, once again, I want to calm the mind and prepare them for what could happen if they're open. And the more open they are, the more things happen. So, that helps ease a lot of minds and questions as I'm working on them. And then I'll also tell them, because I'm incorporating Reiki energy, if they're okay with that. I always have to ask for permission when you're using energy work. I'll say, there'll be times I'm not touching you. You may feel like you're floating or drifting. And what I'm doing is balancing you. I don't want your mind going again. She's not touching me. I feel her here, but she's over there. What's happening? Because energy goes where it needs to. That's the beauty part of energy work. Us as a facilitator, we just provide the space for the healing to happen. I don't call myself a healer, I call myself a facilitator for the healing to happen. Because if the person on the table isn't open to be receiving this or isn't ready for it, a lot's not going to happen.
Yeah.
They got to take their responsibility as well as I do. So that's why I can't take all the credit, because I'm just facilitating the energy. It's up to them if what they do with it. If they block it, if they take it, surrender to it, everyone's different. So I try to just ease their mind when they walk in
Yeah.
so they know what could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them, the more you surrender and let go, as I say, let go, let God, or universe creator of all, whatever your terminology is, because to me, it's all the same.
Yeah.
That's when the magic happens. And I feel right there, they're at ease if they're open, or I'll say, am I twisting your brain too much? And if they say no, I keep going. If I can kind of tell when I'm twisting brains, so I'll pull back a little bit. So you just plant the little seed here and there, and we watch it bloom. And
Aw.
some of the sessions I've had, I'll tell you one of the very first ones that really, really woke me up as a Reiki master is I was seeing a gentleman, God, this was probably over 20 years ago. So I was only doing Reiki for maybe 4 years, 3, 4 years. And you always wonder, right? You
Yeah, of
always
course.
wonder. I can feel it, but you always wonder, are they feeling it?
Uh-huh.
So I had this gentleman, he'll always be dear to my heart. He was all but mid 30s back then. He had two little children that were like 2 and 4, two little girls. He was into corporate America, work, 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 work. Well, he became ill
Ah,
because he didn't have the balance in life. He was working a lot and not playing. We got to have a balance. You always got to remember that yin and the yang. That's real. So he was a workaholic, work, work, work. He thought his whole purpose here was to provide, which is natural in a lot of males because that's how we're programmed. We're programmed the male to be the main provider and the woman to be the domestic one or raise the family in the house. Well, as we know, times are changing. Women are working just as much as men, and we need to start acclimating to the new changes that we're being presented, but our bodies are still holding those energy imprints of our ancestors and our parents. So he came in, very successful man. I worked at an integrative medicine center back then,
okay.
and doctors that didn't know this guy was they gave him 3 weeks to live.
Oh, wow.
So what they did is they brought him to the clinic, and we had all kinds of alternative services. Well, I was one of them that did the energy work. So I saw him twice a week, and they gave him 3 weeks to live. So the first week I saw him, he didn't look ill. And this is it. A lot of people, you don't even know unless you see
Mm-hmm.
energy, you can see little things here and there. And of course, doctors, when they do blood work and whatever. But he came in and to me, he didn't look sick. So I was really confused.
Yeah.
Well, I put my hands on him and boy,
Uh,
I could feel the imbalances. My hands went right to his stomach area and I could just feel the energy was lacking, wasn't moving. And as an energy worker, I have learned you don't control anything. You relax and you find where the body wants you to go. So I always just follow what my hands want to do. And he's like, "Oh, how did you know?" Because he didn't tell me much. And he's like, "How did you know where to go?" I go, "I didn't. Your body told me." So
wow.
I've learned to listen to people's bodies after that. Well, saw him like 4 times. So the second week he came in, and in the meantime, we're talking about life balances. He's like, I didn't realize how much I
Yep.
worked and how much, I was depriving my family of my emotional
Ah.
personal time. He said
Yeah.
he obviously quit his job
Ah.
and because they didn't give him much time. So he quit his job, spending time with his family. He's saying, I'm just enjoying life so much. And I didn't realize this is more important than me working the way I was. And then when he came in the second week, so this is like the third, fourth time I saw him, he's like, I don't know what's going on,
Oh,
but
wow.
my tumors are shrinking and the doctors don't understand what's happening. And and he's like, I don't know what you're doing. I said, honey, it's not just me, it's you and I together. It's your belief that now you know what priorities are important for you. And I'm just facilitating that for you. And of course, we started getting into God and belief systems, this, that, and the other, because I'm like, it's just not you and me. There's a higher power
Wow.
here.
Absolutely. I got
Eh,
goosebumps.
I know, I know. Well, here's the weirdest thing. Here is the weirdest thing. So I saw him for about a month, and then the clinic closed. The wellness center closed, just closed. It was associated with a major hospital, and
Oh,
they just decided it wasn't. It was like an over $1 million facility that was only open maybe 2 years, and I think it was ahead of its time, and they just couldn't maintain it, so they cut it out.
mm.
So I never knew what happened to him. So, of course, I was Googling his name, this, that, and the other for about a year and never saw him in the obits. And I was like, he figured it out. He made a believer out of me that all of this
Wow.
is real. And moving that part on, when you start believing something, everything shifts. So then moving forward, I started trusting what I was feeling and sensing, which really sharpened my skills. Once again, did the universe bring them to me to help me open
Wow.
up and believe? And believe me, my hands now can feel things that uh, that it's amazing to me. It's like, how is this real? I start
Oh, this
questioning
is
that.
beautiful. Amazing.
And yeah, it is. And I've had others like that too. And once again, I don't call myself a healer
Yeah.
because no matter what I do, if the person's not ready to heal on their own and believe they can heal, not too much is going to happen. So I help people believe that they have that power within them to heal themselves. And I tell them my story about my journey with my illness. And another thing I love too is when I work on people when they see the colors. Like I had a lady the other day, she's so cute. Her husband has been deceased for a really long time. She's retired. She goes, I'm seeing the color like an olive green.
Hmm.
And I have learned not to tell people what I think. I want them to start trusting their feelings like I'm trusting mine. So I'll tap in and I'll figure out where it's coming from and why. but I want them to feel empowered that they also can do what I do because everyone can. You just have to trust and believe it. So she goes, I'm seeing olive green. I go, okay, what does that mean to you? Because not too
Yeah.
many people see olive green. And I'm like, this is an emotional thing, this isn't a healing color. So she goes, well, my husband used to love to drink martinis with olives. And I said, well, that's exactly what it is. I go, is there an anniversary or anything coming up? She said, yes. I go, that is him saying, I'm right here with you. And I get that a lot and I love it. So I used to read people when they came in. They
Yeah.
they would say, what are you picking up on me? Blah, 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 blah. And I would say what I was picking up on. And of course, the conscious mind would say, you know, wants sense out of it because the conscious mind always wants logic. So I have learned when I would say something, well, yeah, maybe, the doubt. So I don't read people anymore. I have them read themselves. So when they say something, I'll say, what do you think that is? And then I'll help guide them in a way because when they connect with it and the thought comes from them, they resonate with it than me actually trying to tell them something. So I'll have them feel it and then woo, they have a deeper connection. And then it all makes sense without the mind getting in the way because we have that knowing or feeling that, wow, that felt right. How could that be wrong? Because I had so many people questioning and doubting. I'm like, no, this isn't what this is about. Or they'll say, well, someone else told me this, and that. And like we talked last week, I would say, well, did that resonate with you? And they're like, no. I go, why would you take it? And then I would say, well, the person reading you, were they having blah, 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 blah issues? Do you feel?
Wow.
And they're like, yeah, now that you say that, they brought it up. I go, well, they're reading themselves onto your energy. And a lot of times, energy readers will do that and not even be aware of it. So that's why I always tell people if it does not resonate, please don't take it. It's not yours.
Wow. I love
I
this. By the way, I just got to remind everyone we are here talking to our Reiki master friend, Susan Aaron Kill. If you are tuning in, we're hearing amazing stories of the work she does, quantum energy medicine. So this is fantastic. And let's continue. I love hearing these positive stories that make us better. And some miracle stuff. People might say it's not, it's a miracle to me, but continue.
as doctors say, like when I got my diagnosis removed, I said, is this a miracle? And he goes, let's just say sometimes these things happen.
Ooh, more goosebumps. I'm filled with goosebumps today from you. It is fascinating. Yeah.
So I always tell people expect miracles. Actually, we see miracles every day. They're just little
Yeah.
and we don't take them in as miracles. I mean, just getting out of bed healthy to me is a miracle. And breathing and
Yeah.
seeing and being and yeah, that's what it's all about is actually being present so we can see which direction to go in. So I've had other clients that, like I said, would come in with knee or hip pain. And then I would have them connect with it and say, okay, what's that knee saying to you? Are you stuck somewhere in life? And they'll tell me their story. And I'll say,
Ooh,
okay, tell the knee you're okay now and you're not afraid to move forward because it's talking to you. And let's see if that knee calms down a little bit. 9 out of 10 times they come back and say, I don't know what happened, but my knee's not bothering me anymore.
wow.
And I'm like, because you're listening to it. So
Yeah.
next time it talks, talk to it back before it gets too intense. And let's see if it keeps shifting. And then, of course, you give them a few exercises because the body is being pulled out of balance. So posture will repeat if we don't change our posture. And once again, once we resonate emotionally, a lot of times the posture changes by itself and lets go. and starts to unwind. And that's part of the technique I do with the massage. It unwinds you on a deep level, and it can go anywhere within the body. If I'm working the neck or the arm, I move you in weird ways, and it unwinds everything to a very deep level, and there's no pain.
Mm.
Like I say to people, why would you give you more pain with a deep tissue massage when you're already in pain? That's just going to aggravate that muscle.
Yeah.
So this technique teaches you to go with what their posture is doing to help unwind it. We almost exaggerate it. And then the body innate ability self-corrects itself. So I'm just listening to their body, what it's telling me to do,
Mm-hmm.
and they come back and say, wow, that was really interesting. I've never had that before. And then of course I always say you may have some vivid dreams for the next few nights because it keeps unwinding for a couple of days. And a lot of them do, and I love it. I love hearing the feedback. I've actually had people have physical movements on the table where their stomach would actually kind of
Flow or gurgle or actually move.
move, like convulse, like move. And of course, I just go with it because the body's releasing something extremely deep.
Wow.
And afterwards, the person was in like a meditative theta state. They're like, something was happening, but I felt like I was moving. And I'm like, you were moving, you were releasing on a full level. And of course, I always tell them to eat a lot of protein after that because we're so ungrounded and more in our spiritual realm that we want to get back to this earthly realm. And protein helps ground us again. So I always tell them to do a lot of protein and water because hydration is so important for the physical body. When we're working on the emotional, spiritual, and physical body, water is so important.
Wow. I love it. I love it because well, this is my coffee, but I did have water before. Oh, here's my water bottle. But they say like water does so much for the body. It's just amazing. We're almost all water, right? Like 80 something percent or 90%.
Something like that, a high percent. And believe me, your body will really talk with aches and pains without water.
Got it. Well, we still got 4 more minutes left in the show. What else did you want to make sure we cover, Susan?
I would say, oh, another thing too, whenever you get any kind of massage or body work, energy work, any kind of work, always have an intent when you go in. Because when we have an intent, our body receives that intent. Like, I want to let go of not being able to speak my truth, or I want to let go of feeling stuck in life, or I just want to be a better person, or I want more inner peace in life, or I want more clarity in life. Have some kind of intent when you walk into a session because it will amplify your session. And trust if you receive anything. Trust if you hear that little voice within you saying, maybe you need to work out a little more, or maybe you need to be a little more kinder to yourself, or maybe you need to trust yourself more. Maybe you need to eat more veggies. Listen to what your body is telling you. And people always ask me, okay, what did my body say? And I'll say, well, how are you?
Mm-hmm.
Protein's a big one. I'm like, how are you doing on protein? Well, I could be better. I go, well, that's what I'm hearing. You could be better. So maybe try to do a little better and see if things shift within you. Or, be kinder to yourself.
Yep.
So many people
Ah,
beat themselves up so much emotionally. And I'm like, we have a whole world out there to do that.
yeah.
Please be kind to yourself, love yourself. Because if you're not going to do that, who's going to do it for you? You got to start with you.
Beautifully
So,
said, Susan. And how could
yeah,
you help us do that? Tell us.
be kind to yourself. Treat yourself like you would your best friend, is what I say. So, if a best friend is going through something, what would you tell them? Tell yourself that and treat yourself that way. because we should be our own best friend. We shouldn't be seeking all those answers outside of us because they're all within us. And if we don't have a good relationship with ourselves and
Yep,
love
then.
ourselves, how can we love anyone else or have a good, healthy relationship?
Beautiful. Thank you, Susan. How can we reach out to you to start living our better life?
Yes, you can reach me on my website. It is Quantum Energy Reiki
Mm,
Master with Susan. I am Massage with Susan. It's on Massage Book. Or you can reach out by my email, my2handsforhealth@comcast.net, or my phone number, 630-235-5712. I can respond a lot faster with a text, but phone calls are welcome as well.
beautiful. Thanks again. Have a fantastic day. Thank you for sharing all this and looking forward to next week, Susan. Bye-bye, sweetheart.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.